Hey y'all, thanks for tuning back into my YouTube channel. So today we will be cleaning the HVLP gun. After yesterday I showed you correct overlap and do's and don'ts of your HVLP paint gun. Today I'm going to show you cleaning. If I have any material left over that I know for a fact I'm not going to use, I have a 5-gallon drum right over here with a funnel in it, and I'll pour my material into it and take it to my local Sherwin-Williams store or Benjamin Moore store and pay a little bit, and they'll get it recycled for me. So we're gonna pour it. Well, this is a lot of paint in this gun from yesterday, so we're gonna pour it back in the Sherwin-Williams vinyl sealer can that we got it out of. Being lacquer, it still is good. It still sounds good. It's not dry. I'm just going to pour it back in there, and you'll be fine for the next time you're ready to clean. Ready to paint. Okay, so that's good. We got a half gallon of white vinyl sealer that we can use on another job. So when you're cleaning your paint gun, you go buy some cheap lacquer thinner. I can get this for about $15 a gallon, and you pour it in your holder, what you're gonna use. Alright, what I do is I take the lid off. Oh, and this part, you may want to wear safety glasses, and if your hands are pretty soft, you're not used to working, or you're not used to solvents and thinners getting on your hands, it burns after a while. So it's probably a good thing to use gloves. And I've had lacquer thinner in my eyes before, and it sucks. It feels like it's melting your eyeballs out of your sockets, and it's not. I mean, you can clearly see I have both my eyes still, and I can see. So it just burns really bad. If that's the case, if you get paint thinner in your eyes, hopefully there's someone near you that can guide you to a water source. Close your eyes, of course, feel your way to a water source, and thoroughly rinse your eyes out, and you'll be fine. It just burns like hell. Alright, you take your lacquer thinner and you pour it in, and this is what I do to begin with. I'll just shake it around, and then I'll take my container and I'll pull the trigger, and all that thickened paint inside the neck of the gun will come out. Alright, that's pretty good. And I'll shake it up a little bit more, and then I'll pour it back in my container. Every paint gun, when you buy one, it'll come in a box. It comes with a very small brush to where you can get inside the neck of the gun. I just take a rag and wipe out the cup, and I take the cup off. But it comes with a little brush, and it comes with a multi-tool. My multi-tool has paint all over it, but all those sockets goes to this gun. It goes to everything on the gun and inside the gun. And it should have directions on how to clean. Take you an old toothbrush, and this is the filter that came out of the inside of the gun. This is going to save your paint job if you have trash in your paint before you pour it in the gun. Just take your paintbrush, clean that, dip it in the thinner, and then dry it. Then the next thing you're going to want to do, you want to take the fluid needle out first. So unscrew your set screw, and be careful when you're backing this knob out, because it has a spring behind it that pushes the needle towards the air cap. There's the spring, little bitty thing. And I've lost these springs before and found another spring that was a little bit longer. It don't work. You have to use the spring that came with it. So now you squeeze the trigger, pushing that needle out, and you pull it out. You can also take a red Scotch-Brite, the same thing we use to prepare our furniture. It's not too mild. You don't want to use like a piece of sandpaper like 100 grit. You don't want to take any metal off of this needle. I mean, it's precision. So if you remove metal, then it's not precise no more and fit the gun well. So anyway, I just kind of go over the needle all the way back, and then I wipe it dry, and then I set it with the spring and the knob. Then I take the outer air cap off, and it just screws off with your hand. You can let this sit in the thinner while you're taking the rest of the gun apart. Alright, then you use that biggest end of the tool. This is the inner cap, inner air cap. And you take it off. And you can set it in your thinner too. Then you take your thinner on your brush and stick it down in there real good. And if you'll notice, while I'm brushing this, you can see the little droplets coming off. That's what gets in your eye. So don't brush it towards you. If you have to, just brush it away from you, or away from your face, or hopefully you'll have safety glasses on. I just don't like wearing safety glasses. I'll wear it at work, but we're required to wear them. I'm not required to wear them here. Probably not the smart thing, but it's what I do. And then you just wipe it off. Wipe the outside off good. I mean, you can really get detailed with this. This paint gun's about 2 years old. And I've let it sit overnight in lacquer thinner, and it has started to remove the iodinized coating. Oh, I don't even know if that's a word. The purple color, it has started to wear it off because I've let it sit there throughout the night in the paint thinner. So that's probably not a good thing. But as long as the inside of your gun is nice and clean, then I think that's all that matters. I mean, I've seen paint guns that look like they've been taken to hell and back, but the paint job that was produced with the paint gun turned out beautiful. Alright, so that's all I'll do with that. And then I'll take my outer cap and my toothbrush, and I'll get it real good. Make sure all the holes are cleaned out, because if those holes are clogged up while you're spraying, your pattern is going to be terrible. Another thing with these paint guns, if you are to drop it while it's put together and you damage your needle, or even make this hole, the center hole, if it is oblong instead of round, you'll have a bad pattern and you'll have a bad paint job unless you can correct it. And I blow through it. You can take a can of canned air and blow through it, or if you, hopefully you'll have a compressor, you can just take your air fitting and blow through it. I just blow through it like that. It burns your lips like hell, but it's alright. Alright, now when you're reassembling it, well, I got to do the inner cap. And if you have one of these silicone wedding rings, it's probably a good thing to take it off too, because this lacquer thinner, if it stays in the lacquer thinner for a long time, it starts to kind of make it soft, and then your wife's going to be mad at you because you've messed up your wedding ring. But I've already broken one of my wedding rings. I had a black silicone ring and I really loved it. But I think it got hung on something at work and it ripped it. so it eventually just tore up. Alright, you put your inner cap back on there and you tighten it up real well. You don't want any air leaks or anything on these guns. Put your outer cap back on. Make sure it's at a good angle. Tighten it down real well. Take your air needle. Put it back in your gun. And your spring. And then your tightening knob. Now this one is a pain in the butt to put in because you have to give constant pressure as you turn it. And there we go. It went in. So when I'm putting mine in, I'll squeeze my trigger and I'll turn this knob clockwise until I feel pressure on the trigger. Keep turning, there it is. Okay, so right there, I release this and I turn the knob another half turn. And then I set my screw down. And that's usually a pretty good setting. That's kind of like rule of thumb from what I've always learned. And then when you put your strainer back in, you put it in like that. That way the little tip thing's there and you can pull it out. Then you put your top back on. And if you have any clean paint thinner left, I don't have any of that clean paint thinner left, so I'll take a little bit of this more expensive thinner. Probably not a good thing, but it works good. And I'll put some of the clean thinner in there. And I'll put the lid back on, because if you don't put the lid on it, it will evaporate out of the can. And then when you come up to paint your next job, you won't have none. So it's clean now. Now if you're ready to paint something, you're ready to go. And of course, clean your lid off. Your paint thinner solution. It's good to have a nice table. You can buy a gun holder at any paint automotive store. I'm not sure if Lowe's or Home Depot or Martin's or whoever else has it, but I know an automotive paint store would have it. Shake it in there, squeeze your trigger, and let your residual come out, and you're done. That's pretty much it. I mean, if you get into painting a lot, then they have paint gun cleaners you can buy. It makes cleaning the paint gun a whole lot easier because you don't have to take it apart. Just take the lid off, squeeze your trigger, put this little mechanism on it to hold your trigger down, stick it in there, shut the top, and turn it on. Just like a dishwasher for a paint gun. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe, hit the like button,